I never planned on crossing any lines. Especially not with Layla. She was my best friend Jason's girl, or at least the girl he wouldn't stop talking about. Every time we sat on the bleachers or drove home from practice, he'd bring her up. She's different, man. She actually listens. She's got this vibe, you know? I nodded along like a good friend should, keeping my own opinions buried under layers of silence. The truth is, I noticed Layla long before Jason ever said her name. Something about her just lingered. The way she walked into a room like she already knew she didn't belong there, but still refused to shrink. She wasn't loud or flashy, just this quiet kind of beautiful. Calm, steady. Eyes that made you think she could read yours. But again, it wasn't my place. When they started dating, I made a decision. I wouldn't look at her the same way again. I'd keep the distance, respect the line. And I did, until we got paired together for that psych project. The kind of assignment that makes teachers think they're helping students build life skills, when all they're really doing is forcing awkward energy into after-school hours. It started off normal. We met up in the library, exchanged notes, compared schedules. She was smart, sharper than she let on. I cracked a joke about the Freudian theory, and she actually laughed. Not the polite kind. Real laughter. Warm. The kind you feel in your chest. I thought that was it. Just a decent conversation. But when I packed up my stuff to leave, she said, "You're nothing like Jason." I froze. Not sure how to take it. She added, "Not a bad thing." Then smiled. It lingered. That one line messed with me. Made me start watching her in ways I shouldn't have. Noticing things, like how she'd twist her pen around her fingers when she was thinking, or how she always wore 2 rings on her right hand, but never the left. Little things. Things I had no business caring about. Jason never suspected a thing. Why would he? I was the one who helped him pick out a bracelet for her birthday. The one who told him to text her back when he tried to act like he didn't care too much. I coached him through every misread message and overanalyzed emoji. The irony didn't hit me until later. Layla started texting me outside of project stuff. At first, it was innocent questions about assignments. Then it turned into memes, music, random late-night thoughts. I didn't shut it down. I should have. But I didn't. And then one day, she said she left her notebook in the chem lab and asked me to walk with her to get it. Jason had already gone home. I said sure. It was just a walk. But the way she looked at me in that hallway, like she already knew something I was still trying to deny, it wasn't just a walk anymore. Something was shifting. And I didn't stop. I told myself it was still harmless. We were just working together. Friends by association. But each time we met, something unspoken kept growing between us. The kind of tension you try to ignore, but feel anyway, like static in the air before a storm. I kept finding reasons to text her back. Kept rereading her messages like they held deeper meanings. Maybe they did. Maybe we were both lying to ourselves. One Thursday, she asked if I could stay after school to finish our project slides. Jason was out sick. I didn't tell him I was meeting her. I didn't even tell myself why I agreed. When we sat next to each other at the computer, our arms kept brushing. Once. Twice. I didn't move away. Neither did she. She leaned over to read my screen, and her hair brushed my face. I didn't flinch. She didn't apologize. It was too quiet. Too close. And then, without thinking, I looked at her. She looked back. Just eyes. No words. That pause lasted maybe 2 seconds, but it felt like something final. She kissed me first. Soft. Deliberate. No hesitation. And I kissed her back. It was over as fast as it started. We both pulled away, like it hadn't happened. But it had. The room felt smaller. My heart felt louder. She whispered, "That wasn't nothing." I didn't know what to say, so I said nothing at all. After that, boundaries disappeared. We started texting like we were hiding something because we were. She sent voice notes late at night. I started deleting them before I even listened to them. But I still listened. Every single one. Her voice felt more personal in the dark. A week later, we met again after school. This time there was no excuse. No project left to finish. Just an agreement we didn't say out loud. We stayed in a side room near the library. No one was around. We didn't talk. We didn't need to. What happened between us wasn't explosive. It was quiet, slow, like we were both trying to convince ourselves it was okay, as long as we didn't say it out loud. But it wasn't okay. I knew it. She did too. But we did it anyway. Afterwards, I didn't know how to look at myself. I walked out of the building feeling like I'd just erased something important. A line I used to care about. Jason texted me that night, asked if I'd seen Layla lately. Said she'd been acting distant. I told him no. The lie sat heavy on my chest. She messaged me right after. Do you regret it? I stared at the screen for a long time before typing. I don't know. That was the truth. I didn't know what I felt. I just knew I'd done something I couldn't undo. And the worst part was, a part of me wanted to do it again. Let me know when you're ready for section 3. I knew it couldn't last. We were too careless. Too confident that no one would notice. But secrets don't stay buried forever. Especially not ones like this. We were getting sloppy, meeting in the same spots, texting during school hours, pretending we were just finishing a project that had ended weeks ago. I told myself we were being smart. We weren't. That afternoon, she texted me to meet her for 5 minutes.
Just to talk.
Nothing more. I agreed like always. I told myself it would be quick. In and out. We'd been doing this for weeks and hadn't been caught yet. That gave us just enough false confidence to ignore the risk. We were close. Not reckless. But close enough for it to look like more than it should have. Her hand found mine. Her voice was soft, asking me what we were doing, what it meant. I didn't answer. I was still trying to make sense of it myself. We were in the middle of a moment we couldn't explain, but didn't want to leave. Then the door opened. He stood there, holding his backpack. Frozen. Jason. His eyes locked onto mine first, then hers, then our hands. He didn't speak. Not for a full 5 seconds. Just stared, and in those 5 seconds, every lie I'd told him collapsed on itself. Are you serious right now? His voice didn't crack. It roared. He stepped forward and I backed up, hands up. How long? He asked. I didn't answer. Layla said nothing. Her silence made everything worse. He turned to her, eyes burning. You too. She tried to speak, but nothing came out. Jason looked back at me, face twisted with disbelief. You? Of all people? I tried to explain, stumbled over words that didn't mean anything anymore. There was no excuse good enough. Nothing that could undo what we'd done. He didn't want answers. He wanted truth. And the truth was written all over the guilt on my face. He shoved me once, hard. I didn't push back. Couldn't. I just stood there and let him call me every name I deserved. His voice echoed off the walls. I didn't stop him. I owed him that. A teacher walked in moments later, hearing the shouting. We all froze. Jason stormed out. Layla followed him. I stayed behind, staring at the floor, wishing I could disappear. News traveled fast. By the end of the day, everyone knew. Whispers turned into stares. Stares turned into judgment. Jason never texted me again. Not that day, not the next, not ever. His locker was emptied the following week. I heard he asked to change partners for everything. I didn't blame him. Layla stopped reaching out. Whatever connection we had shattered the moment he caught us. It wasn't just a betrayal. It was personal. And once someone looks at you with that kind of hurt in their eyes, you can't unsee it. You can't go back. You can only live with what you broke. Everything changed after that day. People didn't say anything to my face, but I felt it. The shift. Teachers looked at me differently. Friends distanced themselves without explanation. It wasn't loud or dramatic. Just quiet exits. I stopped sitting in the cafeteria. Stopped going to group chats. Stopped showing up early to school. I walked slower. Talked less. I didn't recognize myself anymore, and maybe that was fair. Maybe I wasn't supposed to. Jason never gave me another chance. No texts, no confrontations. Just silence. I tried writing something once, an apology, but I deleted it. I knew there wasn't a version of sorry that could touch what I'd ruined. He had trusted me. More than most people ever trust anyone. And I broke that for a girl I barely knew outside stolen moments and selfish impulse. Layla disappeared not long after. Word was her parents pulled her out when they found out what happened. Some said it was a transfer. Others said she just couldn't take the attention anymore. I didn't ask questions. I let her go. We hadn't spoken since that afternoon. No closure, no goodbye. Just an echo of something that never should have started. I'd think about it sometimes, the what-ifs. If I had said no. If I had walked away that first time. But the truth is, I didn't. And that choice lives with me. Not like a punishment, but a shadow. Something that follows me into every friendship, every decision, every room. I second-guess more now. I watch my own words. I don't trust myself the way I used to. Everyone always talks about betrayal like a single moment, a decision. But it's not. It's a buildup of ignored instincts, small choices, quiet agreements with yourself to pretend the rules don't apply just this once. Until they do. Until it's too late. I learned something about love the hard way. It's not just about what you feel, it's about what you protect. Jason loved her, whether she saw it or not. And I should have respected that. Not because of some code or loyalty, but because love, real love, doesn't destroy. It doesn't steal. It doesn't sneak around and justify it with excuses. I haven't dated since. Not seriously. I'm not punishing myself. I'm just not ready to offer someone something I haven't rebuilt yet. Trust. Integrity. The ability to stand still when temptation whispers. I'm working on it. Sometimes, I still see his face in my head. Not the anger, just the look right before it. The confusion. Like he genuinely couldn't believe I'd do that to him. That's the part that haunts me. Not being caught. Not the fallout. Just that look. That disbelief. If I could go back, I wouldn't change what happened. I'd change who I was when it did. Because that version of me, the one who betrayed his best friend for a few quiet moments, that wasn't me. But it was real. And now I live with it. Let me know if you'd like help converting this into a final voiceover-ready script or faceless video storyboard.